Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Hope you're all having a great day today. Today we're going to take a look at a guitar that launched about a year and a half ago, I think, and it was launched at a Reverb store and then disappeared, and now it's back again on Amazon for a lot less than it used to sell. This is a Three Brothers guitar, so let's go ahead and check this out. So what exactly is this guitar that I have in my hands? Well, this is a Three Brothers guitar. I'm not exactly sure where it's made, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it's made in China or at least somewhere overseas. And this guitar has a lot of really interesting features. It has an alder body with a flame maple top. Pretty sure that's a veneer, but the description says top. You can see the light blue finish on the back, which is kind of a see-through. You can see the wood grain, so that's nice. We've got a roasted maple neck with a roasted maple fretboard, 22 jumbo frets. So these aren't the tiny frets, these are actually quite large. HSS configuration, meaning humbucker single, one volume, one tone, 5-way switch right here. We've got a 2-point vintage trim with a pop-in bar, and then we've got a new bone nut right there. There you have a string tree, there is the logo, and we have locking tuners, so that's really nice to see. Some figuring on that neck too, but don't think it was part of the description. And then we also have some cream binding as well. So now that I've covered all of the specs of this guitar, let me tell you a little bit about it. When I first heard about these guitars, it was when I was browsing through YouTube, and Guitar Max made a video about them. This was about a year and a half ago. I can't remember exactly when. And he seemed to really like it, but he had some qualms with it. He called out the bridge. He wasn't a big fan of. He really liked the way that it sounded. And this guitar was being sold on Reverb for a price of $650. So not exactly dirt cheap. I mean, you know, kind of on the mid price point, if you will. Now, these popped up on Amazon, and they are selling for $369 after a $30 instant discount coupon thing. So much less, almost half as much. And they piqued my interest. I could only find 2 videos on YouTube. Both were launched around the same time. The one from Guitar Max, another one from Guitar Safari. Yeah, and both were paid promotions or advertisements. Not to knock any of these guys out. I enjoy their content and whatnot, but sometimes it's hard to know, if you're going to get a fully 100% transparent review. And then some reviewers like Max will be very positive about most of the things that they review. They might have minor quirks, but they almost never call them out. Not to say, I'm not trying to profile this person here, but it's just that everything today is so good. It's really hard to find faults. And when you're talking about very affordable guitars, sometimes they're just not even worth mentioning. So I think anytime you look at a YouTuber that gets paid or gets free product and all that, don't assume that they're purposely not telling you things. It's just that they might think that some of those minor things are just not worth making a comment on. I know that has happened to me in the past, although I am very critical and I hear that. I've been told I've been one of the more, what's the word that was used to describe me? I'm just going to say picky, but picky reviewer. So yeah, that's who I am. And so that's what we're going to do here. And this video is sponsored by my wallet and nothing else. So this wasn't sent to me by the company. I had a gift card balance on Amazon, so I was curious. I said, let's try it out, see what we get. And yeah, what I would like to do is give you some tones, give you some clean tones, distorted tones, and then we're going to go over my final thoughts, take a look at the back of the trim route, as well as the control cavity or the electronics backplate, all that stuff, see what we got and what we're working with, and we'll go from there. Okay, so we've heard what the guitar sounds like. I went over all the specs. Now let's talk about, where this kind of scales as a guitar in comparison to all the plethora of affordable guitars out there, and if it's worth the money or not. And then let's also talk about some of the things that I like and some of the things that I don't like. There's a lot of things that I actually really like about this guitar, and starting with the pickups, they actually sound really, really good. I think I saw a comment in the Guitar Max video where they said that it sounded like a Harley Benton. It does not. It sounds way better than those stock Roswell pickups, and it actually sounds really good. It's just got a nice, clear tone to it, a lot of clarity, a lot of warmth. I like the way that these pickups sound, so I'm not sure what they're using. There could be Artec or something imported, but they sound pretty good. And then as far as the locking tuners, they're a nice touch. They're pretty good quality. The neck is certainly good quality. And then the finish, I think it looks pretty nice. Now, when I was intrigued by this guitar, I myself was thinking about, like, where is this going to scale? Is this, because it kind of looks like a Shiji if you look at the headstock. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's the same exact headstock. I will take out my Shiji, take a picture, and show them side by side, and we'll see. But it looks identical to that. So I was thinking, okay, so on the higher scale, maybe it's comparable to a Shiji guitar. On the middle ground, maybe it's as good as an Erg guitar. And then on the lower ground, maybe it's just terrible. I don't know. So that's basically like the three levels that I was thinking this guitar might scale to. And so it's definitely not terrible. We'll start there. I think it's not quite Shiji level, just for minor differences. The first one being the quality of the hardware. The Shiji hardware is better. They use Goto for a lot of their hardware. And so the trem, for example, and this is one of my qualms, and Guitar Max called it out too. I'm not a huge fan of this trem. I do like vintage 2-point systems, but the saddles here are not super great quality. In fact, you can kind of see some like water bubbles or something on the side of the saddle. So not big on that. And they also rattle quite a bit. Like the screws are rattling a little bit. There are fixes to that, but that's just kind of how it came. The locking tuners are pretty good. They are quite close to what you get on the Shiji stock tuners, but I would just rank those just slightly higher. They are better than the Erg tuner, so I'll give them props for that. The nut is cut exceptionally well. The neck is a quality neck, but I do have one major issue. And so before you buy this, and before you get excited about it, I do want to warn you, it is a very, very, very thick neck. I'm going to put it this way. I have a lot of guitars. I don't know, like 30. And this is by far the thickest neck of any guitar that I own currently. And yeah, it's chunky. This is kind of a 50s profile neck. After playing on it for a while, eventually my hand got used to it. But the moment that I started playing it, I could feel a little bit of tension in between my thumb and my index finger. Especially because I've been playing like Ibanez guitars and some of the Erg guitars, and those necks are a little thinner, especially the Ibanez stuff. But even some of the Erg stuff where the necks aren't super thin, this just feels quite a bit thicker than them. Even like the Firefly FFSTs, I've been using those too, and yeah, it's quite a bit thicker. So if you're not into super thick necks, you're not gonna like this. I'll just tell you ahead of time. It is manageable. It's going to come as sticker shock, if you will. Like, you're going to be like, it might take some getting used to. Anyways, that's one thing. The other thing that I can call out is the neck joint. So right here, there's a slight scoop, so that's nice, but the block is kind of thick. So I'd like to see something thinner. Let me show you a much more affordable guitar. I'm not saying this guitar is better because it's not, but take a look at this FFST. Like, this is really, really nice. You know, kind of like a nice seamless access joint. It's a Firefly guitar, $200. And I like that better, especially for this style of guitar. Also, this neck, just from looking at it right now, quite a bit thinner. But yeah, that's two things I guess I'm going to call out. I would like to see different saddles. I think the tremolo in itself is a good tremolo, but the saddles are low quality. So I'd like to see like some nicer stainless steel saddles. And then when you look at the electronics, there is some copper shielding on the electronics cavity. So that's really nice. I would like it to cover the entire thing, but not necessarily. They cover the important parts. And then dime-sized pots, Alpha 500K pots. I would like to see full-size pots, but again, not necessarily a huge deal breaker. Honestly, to me, the three things that I would change about this guitar. One, which we can change without any issue. I would go with a thinner neck, and I would go for kind of like a smoother neck joint. The saddles, I can change those. It's pretty affordable. Everything else about it, though, is really great. I actually really, really like this guitar, and I'm struggling to think about whether I want to keep it or not. Because of that neck, though, I'm thinking I might be able to get used to it. It does sound really nice. It's very versatile. It does feel nice after playing it for a while. The action was pretty high. It was at about 2.5 millimeter, maybe a little higher. But all I did was take my Allen keys and lowered the saddles. I didn't adjust the neck because the neck was pretty straight as it is. And I was able to get that action much lower. It is about 1.25 at the 12th fret on the first string. And on the sixth string, we got 1.50 millimeters is what I'm talking about. So overall, really good guitar. Definitely a good fit for someone who might be used to like the thicker necks of Les Pauls and they want to, you know, kind of get a Strat style or Ibanez AZ style. This is actually why I got this guitar, because I've been wanting an Ibanez AZ. But those are pretty expensive and I'm not in a situation to get one. So, you know, this kind of popped up and I was like, I'm going to check it out. And then someone else that could be a good fit for this guitar is maybe someone who's transitioning from acoustic guitar. They've been playing a classical guitar or a dreadnought guitar and they want to switch to electric, but they don't want the impact of, you know, the style of neck to be too big. And hey, this is going to feel right at home. I think it's overall, I think it's a really, really good guitar. As far as where it scales, this is at least as good as the ERT guitars. I do like that the finishes are a little bit more fun. I went with this one because I have one that's almost identical to the Purple Burst one. I think that's the best looking one. There's also like a gradient, like light to darker purple. I thought that one looked cool too. There's a darker blue one and there's this one, which is kind of like a teal blue. I like this. It kind of reminds me of the Ibanez. I think it's an Ibanez AZ that Jack Gardner uses. So yeah, I thought this was cool. I love the way that it sounds. The fretwork is excellent. The build quality is really, really good. Like I said, at least as good as ERT. In some ways better because they do have better pickups, better tuners. The ERT, I will give them the advantage on the saddles that they use for the trim. And and definitely the neck. Those profiles are thinner. With that compound neck. But yeah, that's basically where I'm at. If we're going to rank Shiji not minding price on a scale of 1 to 10, then this would be like an 8.5. Almost a 9. If that neck was thinner, it'd be a 9 for sure. But let's say 8.5, and I would probably rank the ERT like an 8. So yeah, really good guitar. Definitely worth checking out. Just be mindful of that neck. You know, if it's something that you know is going to be a deal breaker for you, don't bother. If you're not sure about it, hey, it's Amazon. Give it a try, and if you don't like it, don't take it back. No questions asked. So that's it for the video. If you guys enjoyed this kind of comment, leave me a like. This kind of content, leave me a like, comment. And if you really enjoyed, subscribe. Consider subscribing because that would help me out. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.